Imagine this, you're sitting in a bar with a fairly standard gin collection and you just don't know which one to pick. Well, today I'm putting head to head 3 of the all-time classics so you can see which one will reign supreme, which one delivers the bang for buck, and we're starting right now. It's the Tokyo Olympics right now, so I thought I'd do something a little bit different and put 3 of the titans head to head, which one is going to win that gold medal. So for my regular viewers, this might be rehashing a little bit of old ground, but for those out there who just don't know where to start or are just beginning their gin journey, most of you will probably start with one of these 3 gins. So vying for that gold medal, we've got the Bombay Sapphire, we've got the Tanqueray, and we've got the Beefeater. You'll see these are all brand new bottles. I haven't tried these gins in quite a number of years, so we're going in blind. Let's see which one takes it home. This week, guys, no mucking around with stories. We're going purely on taste here. Which one is the best? So let's get started with Bombay Sapphire. So from my time working in bars, Bombay Sapphire tends to be one of the most asked for gins by name. Bombay Sapphire is the newest out of the 3 competitors, and even though it's been around for quite a long time, back in the 90s it converted a whole generation of vodka drinkers to gin drinkers. And for that reason, it was pretty important in the craft gin revolution, otherwise maybe we wouldn't be drinking gin today. Bombay Sapphire tends to be a lot of people's very first step up from those more entry-level gins like the Gordons of this world up to something a little bit more premium, so let's see what it's got in store for us. Okay, so I took a few smells because on this one it's a very subtle nose. I don't really get a lot going on there. It's quite neutral. There's a little bit of juniper, yes, that's there. It's a kind of vague grassy herbaceousness and maybe a tiny bit of citrus, but really it's very light and very delicate. I really have to dig my nose into it to get anything out of this one. There's just not a lot going on there. Let's see if there's a little bit more going on when I taste it. Okay, same thing here again. There's really not a lot going on here. It's very subtle. There's some very delicate juniper. I get a little bit of vanilla, almost like a slight sweetness to it, even though it is a dry gin, obviously. But again, it's super subtle. It's just kind of grassy, elegant, easy drinking. I can see why it converted that whole generation of vodka drinkers. That being said though, there's nothing wrong with this gin. There's nothing bad about it. It doesn't taste absolutely nasty. It just doesn't really taste very strong at all. And when I say strong, I don't mean in terms of alcohol. There's plenty of alcohol here. It just tastes quite neutral. There's not a lot of botanicals going on there. So if you're just starting out, you don't really know if you like gin or not, go for the Bombay Sapphire. If you're a little bit more experienced and you want to get all those nuances of the different botanicals, probably steer away from Bombay Sapphire. So guys, gin number 2, let's go for the Tanqueray and give this one a crack. So much like the Bombay Sapphire, Tanqueray tends to be a lot of people's very first foray into that kind of premium gin world. Again, this is a pure taste test. No silly marketing stories here. Which one's going to get the gold medal? Let's see what the Tanqueray's got for us. Okay, that's really nice. Definitely a lot more going on in this one than the Bombay Sapphire. The juniper is much more prominent. I get that piney kind of woody aroma. There's a little bit of menthol freshness going on there too, coming from the juniper. Plus a little bit of earthy spice, coriander seed, which kind of merges with citrus a little bit. Really, overall, very pleasant and very classic. Let's see how it tastes. There's a lot more body here. I get that juniper coming forward a lot. I get a lot of earthy spice too. The Tanqueray, it's quite rich and it's quite deep. There's not a lot of citrus notes going on here. And this all makes sense because Tanqueray is a very traditional gin. There's only 4 botanicals, those being juniper, coriander seed, angelica root, and licorice root. As you can hear, a lot of root-based spices, so it gives that earthiness. The coriander just brightens it up, ties the juniper to the earthiness, gives a tiny little bit of a citrus note, but obviously the juniper is the main one. The Tanqueray has also got a really kind of creamy, oily mouthfeel, so it's gonna make a really versatile, wide variety of different drinks too. So guys, last but not least, we have the Beefeater. Now, from my time working in bars, Beefeater, it tended to be a lot of places house pour that wanted that step up from the more generic gins. So it doesn't have a bigger following as the Bombay Sapphire or Tanqueray, but it does tend to be a bartender's choice for house pour gin at an affordable price. So let's see what it's got for us. Okay, wow, on the nose, this one's probably the biggest nose out of all of them, and it's got a really big citrus component to it. I get a lot of pine, I get a lot of juniper, but I also get a lot of lemon. It smells really nice, it smells really refreshing, and given the price, actually, it's pretty good. Let's hope it lives up to that on the taste. Okay, wow, it's got quite a big taste. There's a lot of sharp citrus kind of notes. There's also some really pleasant warming spice. It's quite peppery, almost some ginger warmth. It's actually really complex. Now the Tanqueray was a little bit more smooth, a little bit more easy drinking. It had a really luscious mouth coating texture, but the Beefeater's just got a complexity that can't be matched by the other two. Obviously me, I drink a lot of gin, so that really appeals to me. I just want to keep going back for more. There's plenty of pine, there's plenty of citrus, there's plenty of spice. This one is really the gin lover's choice. So guys, not too much faffing around, let's get on and award these medals. So you've probably already guessed it, coming in third place with the bronze medal, we have the Bombay Sapphire. Now, like I said, I'm not saying the Bombay Sapphire is bad. It's really a good gateway gin for those people that don't really like gin and want to get into it, or just don't really know where to start. It's really easy drinking. But I feel like for someone who's drunk a little bit of gin in their time, it's not going to hit all the spots that they really want it to. So then there was two. Now this is a really tough choice because they're both good in their own different ways. But in this competition, there can only be one winner. So in second place, I'm going for the Tanqueray, which leaves the Beefeater for the gold. Now, the main reason why I chose the Beefeater as my number one, because it just had so much more going on there. It was rich, it was complex, and it was delicious at the same time. While maybe it wasn't as easy drinking neat as what the Tanqueray was, it stands up so much better when you start mixing it, especially when we're talking about these more entry-level, not so craft, and mass-produced gins. 99% of it is going into a gin and tonic. And I just feel like that citrus note and that spice note of the Beefeater is just gonna be more approachable and more crowd-pleasing and really carry through over the top of all those other flavors. And like I said, nothing wrong with any of these gins. They're all really good for different kinds of people. Some might say that there's a gin for everyone, but not every gin is for you. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little mini gin Olympics. If you want to broaden your horizon beyond these three just here, start right now, click subscribe just up here so you don't miss out on any new gin reviews and comparisons as they come out on the channel. In the meantime, check out the playlist here and you'll see all the reviews we already have on the channel. Until next time guys, I hope you enjoyed. Cheers.